Right. Okay, so we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to CREATE-a-thon. I'm Emery. I'm the operations coordinator at CREATE. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time or your second or third, welcome or welcome back. CREATE Community Studios is a nonprofit dedicated to providing a safe space for art making, so the beneficial experience of art making is affordable and accessible to everyone. Our goal is to use expressive arts as an equalizer across cultural and economic barriers to promote art making with all communities. We have a goal of raising $10,000 before the end of February, and we are almost halfway there at our halfway mark very soon, which is very exciting. All donors will be entered to win one of the many items from local artists and businesses. Donations go towards furthering our free community programs and help us donate art kits to our community partners like Captain Human Services. Thank you to our event sponsors, the Open Door Bookstore and Gateway Dermatology. During this segment, we're excited to present Erin, who will be showing us a bit about making a fun cloud wall hanging. So I'll turn it now over to Erin.
Hi, everybody. So I'm just going to go over the materials that you should have, or if you didn't get a kit, kind of the things that you want to get together that you might have at home. So we're using a piece of aluminum wire. Any wire will work. If you're using stuff from home, we're using aluminum today because it's easy to bend and you don't need tools to bend it. The piece that we're using is about 2.5 feet. We have a nice good chunk of twine that we're using. Everybody's got that in their kits. And then a bunch of beads. A couple items, you'll need scissors to cut your twine. I believe that was on the list. And also another couple things that would be helpful is tape. We're going to use that to tape off the end of the twine. It'll help put the beads on. If you have it, great. If not, there's a couple other ways we can work around that. And just some kind of container to pour your beads in. It'll be easier to pick through them when you're deciding what to put on your cloud. So some of the people I already directed, but if you're using wire, you want to start with kind of a straight piece of wire. So if your wire is bent up or if it came kind of in a bundle, just unwrap it and get it nice and straight. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of wire and we're going to wrap it. We'll kind of roll it into circles. So I like for this size wire, I usually do about 4 circles-ish, but you can do as many as you want. And I'm just going to kind of show you how that works. So you're just going to kind of bend it almost like a spring. So you just kind of get it around. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I've got mine here. It's just about 4, I think. I need to do more. There we go. The cool thing about doing a spring is if you want to make it tighter or bigger, you can just grab like either end of it like this and just kind of twist it tighter to get more circles, or twist it open if you maybe did it tighter than you want and you want less circles. So I went a little too big. I want more circles. So I'm going to kind of twist mine a little bit more. So kind of squish it flat. So in my finished product here, I've got it kind of spiraled into a spring shape, which I've then like mushed flat. So yeah, I see some people kind of using their hand to spin around. That helps. If you have something round that you want to use, you can spin it around that. It's pretty easy to bend, so it shouldn't be too hard to get into those circles. Let's see, how is everybody doing? Got some really fun circles. Yay. Yeah, and once you get your circles, just kind of mush it so it's kind of flat. You know, you just kind of want it a little tight this way once you get like the size and the amount that you're looking for. Just kind of this I love aluminum wire because it's so smushy and it's just really easy to kind of get it to do what you want it to do. So how's everybody doing? You guys ready for step 2? 2, 3, maybe 4. I'm not sure what step we're on. All right, now you're going to take like your 2 ends. So like locate where your ends are. And then you're going to kind of grab like each edge. Does everybody kind of see what I'm doing here? So kind of if you're holding the circle so it's in front of you, you should have one end like in the front of you on this side, and then one end kind of on the outer side. So you want to grab like the edge of each one. And then we're just going to kind of pull. So we start to get our cloud shape. Just kind of pull it out. Kind of, you can play around. Sometimes I like to, then maybe make some circles bigger, some circles smaller. I just kind of play around with it until I get what I think looks like a really fun little cloud. So just kind of, you want to have each circle kind of overlap each other. So you get these kind of fun curly cues. Yeah, like a nice little poofy cloud. And it can be whatever shape. I've had some that are like small on one end and bigger on the other end, just like, your typical, like what you think of with a cloud. I also like to picture my cloud with a face, and I feel like that helps me find out like what personality is this little cloud going to have. Yes, everybody. Ooh, I'm seeing some seriously gorgeous, adorable little clouds. Yay. Awesome. Good job. Yes, my guy. Yay. And we're going to do something with the ends, but we'll do that in a little bit. I want to show you how to get the twine on first. How's everybody doing? Does everybody have a fun little cloud? I'm seeing lots of fun clouds. Ooh, I love them. They're so poofy. Great. Awesome. All right. I still see some people kind of molding around, but I'm going to move on to some of the next steps. Feel free to take your time with whatever steps we're on. Because there's plenty of time to work on this and I can help you, So now we're going to move on to the twine. You're going to want to take about, I'd say about like a foot of your twine and cut that piece off. So you've got like a little piece. This is the piece that we're going to put on the top of our cloud so you can hang it. Okay. Yeah, so get like a nice little foot piece. And you can always trim it down if it seems like it's too big or too small, you'll have to cut another one. But if it's too big, you can trim it down. So the way that we're going to tie the ends of this is you're going to make like a little loop. And then we're going to take like the loop and do a knot. Kind of hold the twine like, like you're making just a typical knot. So you kind of end up with a knot like this. And then you can trim the end a little bit. So you just got a nice fun little loop. And we're going to do that on both sides. Show you, got my little piece here. And then, loop it around, tuck the end of the loop in. Sorry. You don't realize how hard tying a knot for a camera is until you do it. There we go. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay. It's a little tricky. So no shame in the struggle because I'm supposed to be the professional and I'm struggling with this knot. So here you go. There you go. Nice little, so you should have your little piece with 2 loops. So we are going to loop this on, but we're going to make our little like rain strings first, because we're going to loop everything on, and depending on where your string's going and where your rain strings are going, depends on like what order you want to loop them on, if that makes any sense, because it's all one piece. So now you've got a bunch of twine here. So here's kind of where we get into what are you looking, like, how do you want this to look? So do you want, you know, also kind of look at your cloud, how many little spots do you, how many little dips do you have on the bottom? So I have, but one of the last step we're going to do is we're going to take the ends and curl them. So I'm going to have 5 spots on the bottom that I can put little rain clouds on. So I'm going to cut 5 strings. Another decision you have to make is like, how long do you want them to hang? I think I want them probably like about here or so. So I'm going to cut them. I'm going to see like how long that is. And then I'm going to probably do double that just so I have extra space, you know. So however long you want your kind of rain drops to fall, double that, because we're going to be knotting it. We're going to put a loop on the end, and that way you'll have plenty of space and you can just trim off whatever extra you have. So the way I like to cut stuff like this when I'm doing, you know, multiples of the same length, I just kind of fold it over. So I have my one length that I know, fold it over, kind of run it down. Now I have 2, fold it over at the end there and kind of run it through. Now I have 3, and then fold it over again. Now I have 4, and then there. So for me, let me do a double check. Yep, that's 5. And then you just hold it really tight at the end. I'm going to cut the extra piece off. And then I can just put my scissors right in those loops that are on the end and cut them. And I'll do the same on the other end. You know, this, I already had an end. I have a couple loops, put the scissors in and cut them. Now I have 5 pieces that are all the same length. That's another thing too. They don't have to be the same length. It's very, I'm really like low pressure situation. Sky's the limit. Do whatever you want to do. Everybody's cloud is going to look awesome and be different. And it's going to be great. All right. So how's everybody doing with the string cutting? Everybody got some nice strings. See some more. I see some cutting and looping still happening. So I'll hold off for a little bit. Give you guys some time. Can we just like talk about the color of this twine? Isn't it just so cloud colored? I love it so much. It's like a soft gray, almost some lavender tones. I really like it. I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw it. Yay. Alrighty. All right, so I think everybody's about there. So I'm hoping that you didn't hate the other knot we did too much, because we're gonna do one of those on the ends of every single one. So just on one side. So we're just gonna do that same super fun knot that we did, where you loop it over. And this is the knot, this is the loop that we're gonna hang on the cloud. So we're just going to do that fun little loop knot. Do a little loop, trim it. So you've got like a nice little way to keep this guy on. Find that. Okay, good. So yeah, once you have all your strings, we're just going to throw a loop on like one side, just one end. Okay. Okay, so just a quick inventory check-in. You should have a fun little cloud, a little piece with 2 loops on the end, and then however many pieces you decided on for hanging off of your cloud, and each of those pieces should have loops on one side. How's everybody doing? Can I get like a thumbs up check if you're good and you're up to speed? Thumbs up. Everybody's got your loops and your stuff. All right. So now, I think probably the easiest first step is figure out, because we know that the longer loops are all going to go along the bottom. We have to figure out where we want these loops to go. So, kind of put those on. You're going to put, one loop in one side and then one loop in the other side. And then you can kind of figure out like which top loops you want it on. I'm realizing that I think I like it like on these outside loops, which will actually make my life easier too. So I'm definitely going to do that. So yeah, you just kind of check it out, see, does that hang nice? Do you like the way it hangs? Do you like the length of the loop? Do you want to cut a new one that's longer? Do you want to make, maybe cut off the loop you have and make it shorter? Like you can kind of like gauge from there now that you can kind of see it. But yeah, once you get that top loop kind of where you like it, you can take it off and we can move on to the larger loops and kind of getting them on and getting them beaded. How's everybody look? Ooh, I see some fun hanging clouds. Love it. They look so good. Ooh, yay. I don't know why these clouds make me so happy inside, but they just really do. I just picture little faces on all of them and I love it. All right. So now that you know, hopefully, where that like top loop's gonna go, Now is the kind of tricky part. So you want to start getting your longer loops on, and I would say start with the middle and kind of work your way out. So I know that I'm going to have, it's a little tricky figuring out how to get these in there. Yeah. So I know I'm going to have one in the middle. So I kind of get that guy in. Now I realize that my loop is going to be on these outer rings. So I have to put my loop on before I put on the last two on the end. But these other two, I'm going to want to put those on before that top loop. So it's like, you just got to kind of look at, like, follow the cloud loops and figure out kind of what order you want to get those little loops on. I've tried doing it. I've tried doing the tying the loops with, you know, like onto the wire. And trust me, I know this seems complicated, but it's definitely easier this way. It's really hard to tie those knots while it's on the wire. So yeah, just kind of look at it. And, you know, these ends are open. We're going to close these ends once you get all your wire on, but they're open. So if you realize you did it in the wrong order, just take it off and start, you know, it's really easy to fix, you know, if you're struggling with the order and stuff. Also, feel free to, like, turn your mic on and say, hey, can you figure this cloud situation out for me? Like, ask me for help if you're having trouble figuring that out. So for me, I know my little loop is going to go on these outer top loops. So I need to get this guy, these two guys on first, then get my top loop on, then put my last two on. That's the order I have to go in. And it's just kind of following this wire and getting an idea of kind of where the wire's going. There we go. So I've got 3 little loops. And now I'm putting on my little top loop. Like that. And then my last loops. Are going to go on. So once you get all your loops on, you're going to have, you know, your top loops and then your bottom loops just kind of hanging down. How's everybody doing? Good? Yay. Sweet. All right, so if you have already gotten all your loops on, we're going to take these little ends and kind of like loop them around tight. And that's just going to help keep these loops from just coming off very easily. So here, let me see if I can show you. So you've got your little end here. You're just going to kind of pinch it. This one's a little tough because you're just making such a tight loop. So if you're having trouble